You know that feeling when you leave a conversation and something just feels off, but you can't quite put your finger on why? Well, today we're going to talk about emotional manipulation, but not in some abstract, clinical way. No, we're going to focus on that gut feeling. This is all about learning to spot the patterns so you can start trusting yourself again. I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You walk away from a chat and your head is just spinning. You feel kind of confused, maybe a little bit drained, and you just cannot figure out why. It's this very specific, very weird kind of mental fog. Or how about this? You go into a discussion, you have a totally clear point you want to make, and somehow, minutes later, you find yourself defending something you never even said, or apologizing for something you definitely didn't do, and you've completely lost the plot of the original conversation. It's just so disorienting. And that's exactly what we're here to unpack. Look, this isn't about slapping labels on people. It's about spotting the patterns. We're going to explore some of those really subtle tactics of control so you can cut right through that fog. And this is the most important part, start trusting your own internal compass again. Okay, first up, let's dive into the tactics that are specifically designed to create confusion. You can think of them as a verbal smokescreen, a kind of word fog that's meant to make you doubt what you see, what you hear, and what you know. So the first tactic is feigning ignorance. This is when someone pretends they just don't understand something that's actually really straightforward, and the goal, it's to frustrate you, to wear you down, and to make you second guess if what you're saying even makes any sense in the first place. So in a real conversation, this sounds like, huh? I don't remember saying that. Or, I have literally no idea what you're talking about. They act completely baffled, right? And it forces you to explain yourself again and again until you're the one who feels like you're not making sense. So here's a quick check-in for you. Just think for a second about your interactions. Is there someone in your life who constantly makes you feel like you have to explain the most basic, simple things over and over and over again? Yeah, that's a huge red flag. All right. Tactic number 2, spreading the blame. This is that classic move where they take their own actions, their own feelings, and somehow they skillfully make it all your fault. The story gets twisted and turned around until their bad behavior is somehow a reaction to something you did. And the check-in for this one is so important. Ask yourself, are you constantly saying, I'm sorry for things you know deep down you didn't even do? Do you find yourself taking the blame for their bad mood or their mistakes just to keep the peace? Tactic number 3 is all about winning the conversation. But listen, they're not trying to win by making a better point. No, they win by derailing the whole thing. The second a conversation gets too serious or maybe a little too close to holding them accountable, they'll suddenly change the subject or nitpick your tone or crack a joke to just deflect everything. And this brings us right back to that classic feeling we talked about at the beginning. You walk away from an argument just completely bewildered, thinking, wait a second, what were we even talking about? That confusion? It's not a side effect. It's the entire point of the tactic. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. We've talked about tactics of confusion. Now let's talk about what we could call weapons of emotion. This is where your own feelings, your empathy, your sense of guilt, even your fear get turned around and used against you. First up, the all-time classic, the guilt trip. And this is more than just making you feel bad. It's about creating this feeling of emotional debt. They act so hurt, so wounded when you try to set a boundary or just say no, that you feel like you owe them. You feel obligated to make it up to them, which usually means sacrificing your own needs. So, ask yourself this. How often do you find yourself apologizing for prioritizing your own well-being? Do you feel that immediate wave of guilt when you have to say no to something? Okay, next is a really subtle one, covert intimidation. This isn't about yelling or obvious threats. It's that sudden, cold shift in their tone of voice. It's a slammed cabinet door. It's the silent treatment. It's this very controlled anger that's designed to make you feel anxious and want to do whatever it takes to just smooth things over. I mean, think about it. Do you ever feel like you're walking on eggshells around someone? Do you change what you were going to say, or even cancel your plans just to try and manage or prevent one of their bad moods? And the last one in this section is shaming you into silence. This is such a powerful way to just shut down communication. They'll use sarcasm or condescending little jokes to completely dismiss what you're feeling. You get called too sensitive or dramatic or the classic crazy. The message they're sending is crystal clear. Your feelings are wrong. They're invalid. And this leads to a really crucial question for yourself. Do you bite your tongue? Do you hold back what you actually think or what you really feel because you're scared of being mocked or dismissed? That self-censorship, that's a direct result of this tactic. So we have to talk about the most crucial point here. None of these tactics really exist on their own, in a vacuum. I mean, look, anyone can have a bad day. We're not talking about one single bad conversation. What we are talking about is a consistent, repeated pattern of behavior. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's insidious, you know? It's not one big, obvious thing. It's 1,000 tiny moments, 1,000 little paper cuts that over time just wear away at your confidence and make you doubt your own reality. And seeing that pattern, that's the first step to breaking the spell. Okay, so we've talked a lot about identifying the problem, but now what? What can you actually do about it? Let's get really practical. Here's a simple, super powerful exercise you can do right in the moment to get grounded and take back your clarity. It's just 4 simple steps. First, just pause. Seriously, just take a breath. Step 2, check in with your body. What am I actually feeling right now? Is it confusion? Is it anger? Guilt? Just name it. Step 3 is the real game changer. Ask yourself, who benefits if I ignore this feeling? And finally, step 4, you consciously choose clarity. You choose to trust your gut over their fog. And to help really lock this in, here are 3 powerful affirmations you can use. My clarity is my protection. I'm allowed to say no without guilt. And, this one's a big one, their emotions are not my responsibility. These aren't just empty words. Think of them as anchors you can hold on to when you feel yourself getting pulled back into that fog. So, I really want to leave you with this one final thought. The one question that cuts through pretty much everything else. The next time you feel that familiar confusion or that pressure to apologize or that wave of guilt, just stop and ask yourself this. Who really benefits if I ignore my feelings right now? The answer to that question, that's where your clarity begins.